Anything else you want to include while we're doing this? That okay? Okay, yeah, all 39 characters, my mistake. And here he is, Mr. Patrick Stewart.
19 characters is nothing for a guy like you.
You can take it, Rick? Really? Wow.
39 characters. Have a seat, Patrick. It's nice to see you again. Haven't seen you, I guess, since last Christmas, huh? The show was a hit last year. No? No. Okay.
It'll be a long interview.
What's up, Patrick? What?
Well, I was here last year,
Yeah.
and I'm casting a shadow on your face.
It's okay. I'm used to that, believe me.
And you were very friendly, and this year you've done it to me. I walk into the green room just now, and I have one or two little stories and one or two little anecdotes, and sitting there in the green room is the funniest man in the world, Peter Ustinov.
Oh, sure.
And I am now utterly and totally intimidated.
Oh, yes.
So,
Yes, Peter Ustinov is a great storyteller.
he's been one of my heroes for so many years.
right?
Is this your first chance to meet him then?
I met him a few months ago. He was in Los Angeles where he was presented with an award, and he did a scaled-down version of his show, and it was brilliant. And he's one of the most dazzling performers, and, of course, one of the funniest men ever.
Yes, but you know what he has not been voted?
What?
Which you were. The most bodacious man on television.
There
so,
you go.
hey.
So what do you
Hey,
want?
what do you want?
He wasn't in competition.
How did you feel about
You beat Regis out for that.
How did you feel about I wasn't even nominated, but how did you feel about winning that award?
Well, at first it was it was a little embarrassing. You know, as an Englishman, when he's brought up not to feel that there is anything particularly attractive or pleasing about one, and this kind of publicity made me want to stay indoors all day long. But I have to confess that, in fact, it was really rather nice.
Well, I
sure.
should think
Absolutely.
But anyway, you asked me about the show while I
Yeah.
was being silly earlier.
Where did the idea come from?
Of doing a one-man Christmas
show.
Carol?
I mean, all of those characters.
It evolved at a time when I realized that Star Trek was going to last for a year or two, and I knew that I had to find some way of keeping in touch with the live theater. Keep those juices flowing.
I love that word.
Yeah, and I suppose ultimately actors' ego too. You know, the one-man show is the final ego trip, and it began as a simple reading, and it grew until last year we came here to Broadway and did moderately well.
Oh, sure you did.
What's Tiny Tim's voice
Yeah,
like?
what's that like?
Okay, and even Tiny Tim, excited by the two young Cratchits, beat up on the table with the handle of his knife and cried, "Hurrah!"
Which is the most difficult of all the voices to do?
Of the voices,
The characters.
Scrooge was the most difficult because the whole story stands or falls by Scrooge. And at the beginning, I was playing him, I think, a little two-dimensionally. He was somewhat of a caricature until my good friend... Oh, yes, that's right. A good friend of mine, Regis, who had been helping with the show, pointed out that Scrooge was me. That Scrooge exists in all of us, in other words. And so he had to become the most natural, the most centered person in the show. And now I think I know who he is. He's me.
And so each spirit has a different voice too, right?
Each spirit has, except for the last one, of course, who is silent. But yeah, most of the characters speak. Mrs. Fezziwig only smiles.
Now, Star Trek is in its 6th year.
This time around.
Number one for one-hour shows that are in syndication with an enormous audience. You probably have seen the ratings on that. Absolutely fantastic. Looks like that is going to go on. May go on for 20 years.
So it would seem.
An actor's dream come true?
Yes, in a sense it is, because it's nice to be employed.
So few actors are.
Indeed. And yet, I think all of us have this fear that with a show of this kind, that it may become something that we can never leave and might even become something of an albatross, you know? Stereotyped? No, but that any possibility to move away from the identification with that particular character might be different, which is one of the reasons why I do this.
Sure.
And other stuff like that.
But you're doing this career thing absolutely right. You're not taping or filming over the Christmas holidays anyway, so here you are on stage, honing your skills, and now, if you can't make it to Broadway this year, you can listen to it on your cassette, on your cassette player as well. You've got an audio version of the whole thing out.
An audio version of the show on cassette and on CD.
Terrific idea. That's a great idea.
Wait, that you do when you have a moment just to yourself? Are you one of those that reads, or do you like to go off to the country?
Let me guess. I'll bet this looks like a meditation type to me.
Oh.
Sit there in the lotus position and meditate.
Well, you know, a year ago, if you had said that, you would have been wrong. But now, you're absolutely right. Meditation is something that I have begun this year, and it is just terrific.
What a guy, Reach. I mean, you're amazing.
All right. Well, now, incidentally, Patrick is going to be over at Brentano's at 48th and 5th Avenue at 12 noon today with the cassettes. Signing a few cassettes for them?
With people fighting the rain.
Yeah, oh, that's what
You'll have a lovely crowd,
Yes,
I'm
I'm sure you will. Patrick, thanks so much, and have a great opening tonight. Okay? Tonight, at the Broadhurst, a Christmas Carol. We'll be right back with Christine Gentleman and some great Christmas film fashion.